with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here is Manager Robinson, here to make brother all the way to Switzerland. And I'm reaching out to all of our brothers and sisters on the African continent. You're tuning into Black on Fire.
You're now listening to the best music.
Feel the hits. Feel the freshness.
Mark your freedom.
Ayrton.
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm waiting.
Whoa, easy now.
I'm gonna be free or die.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
You have made it 100 miles to freedom. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Ayrton.
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here is Manager
I'm
Robinson.
wading through muddy water. You know I got a made up mind,
Black on Fire.
and I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on.
Harriet, welcome to the Underground Railroad.
And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone, and I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shine stars lit up the sky. Stand up, take my people with
to Let's Talk with Earwoods on this beautiful afternoon.
Gonna stand up,
A beautiful weekend.
my people with me together.
All of redefining Africa as we redefine ourselves.
A brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you.
Welcome again to another conversation with me this beautiful afternoon, family, on Let's Pop with Earwoods. Today's conversation is about how the U.S. stole the Middle East, but I hope you had a very restful, productive, fun weekend. However it is, I hope it was actually worthwhile. You can download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackoutfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements, apparel clothing with the Blackout Fire Radio logo on it. We do have the likes of Beanie Hats, Dad Hats on the apparel clothing store. We do have Max bags with the Blackout Fire Radio logo on it. On the other side of the supplement, different categories: ashwagandha multivitamin, beetroot, Manuka honey coffee, whatever is into your liking. Kindly order, and I'm sure you'll definitely not regret about anything. But welcome again. Before I delve into a conversation, we'll definitely look at how the US stole the Middle East, but also we'll see the strategic move on how they are always setting their military bases in a nation where they see they can actually benefit from it because of raw minerals to actually keep up with their first world superpower, as they call themselves. We'll see the military bases they do have here in the 254 Nairobi, Kenya. Actually talking about that, also the UN is moving here, and I know the conversation is about that. Okay, they're moving here because it's cheaper, but also you have to understand the protest started here in the 254 Nairobi, Kenya. I was just thinking, may not be right, but what is a better way for them to be actually closer to the country that the revolution started? But it's actually easier to keep their eye on what's really happening. But before we start with that conversation, let's listen into the health and benefit of multivitamin.
Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just one tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
For $32.90, you'll definitely get your supplement. But welcome again to the conversation of the day on how the US told the Middle East, or actually how they got their feet into the Middle East. The little bit of research I did regarding how they did that. Obviously, we know right now Middle East basically is a part of Africa, as actually Mr. Newsom has actually taught us. And you actually look at the map.
It's Northeast Africa. There's no such thing as the Middle East. Where's the Middle West? Where's the Middle South? Where's the Middle North? It's in the African plate. It's Africa. And for all these years, it's always known as Northeast Africa until the British wanted to change the name 100 years ago. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And if you look at the map carefully, it actually, at the Horn of Africa, it connects directly to Africa. But we definitely know it produces lots of oil. And the US, the one and only, they definitely have their eyes everywhere on every nation that is actually producing materials, resources, and how they actually got their feet into the Middle East. But before that, how they started that was, you know what? Let's us protect you guys. To protect your oil and everything. We're gonna send a military base over there to actually help you guys with this oil production. But they were also benefiting from it with the people who definitely love to, have their interests at first in the Middle East. They collaborated with the US. But before that, I wanted to take a look or listen. I'm going to read out what they actually say, air quotes, what the US military bases are for, their purposes and role. But we do have a lot of military bases in the 254 Nairobi, Kenya, or basically in Africa. So this is what they say, according to Google. The United States has a military presence in Kenya, primarily at the Cooperative Security location in Manda Bay, Lamu County, which includes Camp Simba and Magagoni Airfield. Kenya hosts the second most U.S. military presence in Africa and is a major non-NATO ally, with the bases used for counter-terrorism efforts, intelligence gathering, training local forces, and maritime security operation. So, key location is the Manda Bay.
Lie. All that it's a lie. lie. It's for resource extraction here, Tom. That's why they're there.
Yes. So I say, according to Google, for anybody maybe not going deeper, they'll actually believe the U.S. military is here for a good cause, right? So this is what they want you to know. The key location is in Manda Bay, Lamu County, and they're saying this is a primary hub for the U.S. forces and includes the Camp Simba, a U.S. base within the Kenyan naval base, Manda Bay, housing most of the U.S. forces. And then the other one is Magagoni Airfield, located
ask yourself this, Irritan. Are there any Kenyan military bases in the United States?
No.
Of course not. They'll never allow it. So why has America got its bases everywhere? For terrorism, right? For terrorism. But we all know now, we should know now that it's the Americans that create this terrorism here at time. They're the ones who pay for these terrorists and terrorism. So that gives them an excuse, a fake excuse to stay in your country here at time so they can do resource extraction. So do this real quick here, since you're Google. Ask Google, say, how many bases does the United States have in other countries? How many? Just say how many bases do the United States have outside of the United States? I think it's like 700 and something. Why do you need 700 bases in other people's countries? Resource extraction.
Absolutely. You're cutting off.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm in a bad area.
The United States has
I'm in a bad area. Go ahead. Go.
750 overseas military bases, with the majority of its foreign troops stationed in Japan, Germany, and South Korea. The exact number can fluctuate, but estimates suggest hundreds of military installations are located in countries around the world.
So that's 750 bases. So those are all stealing bases. Those are all resource extraction. Those are the ones they admit to. So the other ones they call CIA black sites that you don't know, Irritan, all over the world, where they assassinate leaders, they torture people, and they steal all your shit. So those are the ones you just know. They've got hundreds of bases that you don't know nothing about, and they will never admit to. They're called CIA black sites. So let's ask Google this. See, how many CIA black sites does America have? Well, we don't know. There's nowhere to them. How many CIA black sites does America have throughout the world? See, these are the sites that are top secret that they'll never tell you about. These are ones that overthrow governments, torture people and shit. stealing shit, traffic children.
Mm, they're not giving the number.
I know
They're
they're not gonna now they're gonna
yeah,
give no number every time. But they're gonna
there's
admit they're there because they know you know now. But go ahead.
so they're saying the CIA black sites refer to a network of secret prisons operated by the CIA, primarily located in Eastern Europe and a few other regions.
Eastern, oh, primary. No, they're all over primary in Eastern Europe. Yeah, that's a lie. Primary all over the world. You got secret CIA sites, right, black sites in Kenya right now,
Mhm.
in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, in Ghana, in Nigeria right now.
Right.
Shit. In Eastern Europe. Yeah, okay. But go
That's
ahead. Go ahead.
let me move forward. The CIA black sites systematically employed torture in the form of enhanced
How about
education.
that? I told they torture people every time. It means they take a pair of pliers and crush your nuts and dick. Yeah! Tell me some information every time. Yeah! Or they crush your balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interrogation, interrogation techniques of detainees, most of whom had been illegally abducted and
Of
forcibly
course.
hard.
Kidnapping.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Known locations included Afghanistan, Lithuania, Morocco, Poland, Romania, and Thailand.
Everywhere.
And
They overthrow your government. They're the ones with Ruto right now say, listen here, boy, you do the fuck you're told to do.
look,
You like your nuts and balls, don't you? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, yes, the balls.
right, that's what's happening. And then, in
Uh,
regards to their military base over here, what Google says is Paupers Enrolled, counterterrorism, as Mr. Newsom had mentioned. The basis supports efforts against extremist groups,
uh-huh.
particularly Al Shabaab.
Al Shabaab, something that they created here at time. So it protects you from the very terrorists that they created. So let me tell you something here, time. They created Al Shabaab, Boko Haram, ISIS, Al
Right.
Qaeda, Mujahideen, every terrorist group the CIA and America has created. Every single one of them here at time.
Hmm.
And if you don't, I've been through that, but if you don't believe it, you go to YouTube, say the American Congress admits, go to YouTube, say American Congress admits that America created these terrorist groups. But people already know Dr. Ibn Turay.
Yeah.
He tells you, he said all these terrorist groups are created. He likes to call them the imperialists. Goddamn the CIA, call them what they are. The imperialist white people. All these terrorists that we're fighting are created by the imperialists. America, France, England. Because you got to ask yourself, where are these terrorists getting money to buy weapons? Where are these terrorists
Absolutely.
they don't got no job. How they getting their clothes, their weapons, and their gas to
Yeah.
do terrorist acts?
And these are like high-end weapons. So where do they
Exactly.
for that?
Exactly. Exactly. They don't got no job every time.
Mhm.
Where's the terrorist got it? Is the terrorist working at the local Ugali shop?
Really?
They ain't nothing to buy no high power weapons. Shit.
They're actually not saying anything.
Okay, but
Actually, they're actually putting like against it, but we know definitely they're just putting there for their own good.
exactly.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
they're the truth.
Yeah, so the idea that we got this base so we can stop terrorism, they create the terrorism type. What they're basically using for resource extraction. And when you don't go along with what they want you to do, Every time they kidnap you off the street, like I told you, they kidnap you and torture you, bust you in the head with a wet phone book and a mattress. God, shut your ass up. You gonna do what they do? Where am I at? Shut up! Yeah, where am I at? Where am I at? And we gonna get your family next. Like what?
Yeah.
And then so
In every African country, every time I know we definitely know about this, but we've seen a lot of African countries fighting back and actually taking a lot of these military bases away because they definitely now the main reason why they're there, and it's not
exactly
people's good. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, one thing they're saying over here is regional stability. What do you mean regional stability? Doesn't
Because
even
they said they saying they're the ones fighting the terrorists, but they knew you didn't know that they're the ones who created the terrorists. So that's the reason why. See, remember, it's called the Hegelian dialectic here, Tom. They create the problem, wait for the reaction, then they bring you the solution. So they create the terrorists. You like, oh, we need stability. We're here, Iran. We're gonna put a base in your country to stop these dirty terrorists. Even though they now people used to didn't know that they're the ones creating the terrorists. I don't know why you didn't know, but it's all about Africa's wealthy. I want to be able to steal these resources without paying your dirty nigga ass nothing. You dirty nigga.
In a more when they actually say like, "Hey, we're coming to help you bring regional stability, counter terrorism," it's like, "Oh my gosh, we accept you. Welcome."
That is exactly.
That's okay. Exactly. You can help us do this. But no more, because every African, not even African, every nation that is actually producing whatever source of minerals and resources.
Yeah, they know the scam. Everybody knows the scam now. Everybody's calling out the scam.
Absolutely. And their main agenda is to take over that nation, not even that nation. And I was thinking about the UN being here because there are so many African countries they could go to, like why Kenya? You know, why 254 Nairobi, Kenya? Honestly, they could go to
because Kenya's always been a jump off country. Here, that means it's always been controlled. Kenya's still a very controlled country. White people.
You have like Uganda, Tanzania, Mr. Newsom.
They are both controlled. They're right. Uganda is very controlled. Tanzania, not so much. Now it is. Tanzania was one of your freer countries. Because Tanzania was never a bootleg country like Uganda and Kenya. Tanzania,
the most.
Rwanda's a bootleg country too. I'm saying, but Kenya, from its inception, Kenya has one of the biggest CIA bases. So that's probably why, because they need to keep, because Kenya has one of the biggest spy organizations in Africa. So they don't want to lose that. So, of course, that seems like the normal thing to do to put the UN in Kenya, because Kenya has one of the biggest CIA. Just say, ask Google to see if they be out. They probably won't. Has Kenya always had a big CIA presence? We know that's the truth, but the CIA created Google too, so we don't worry about it.
They're everywhere. Everywhere you touch, they're there.
Say the CIA have a big presence in Kenya. They do. I think one of the biggest. Go ahead. What does it say?
Okay. A covert Kenyan paramilitary team, armed and trained by the U.S. and supported by the U.K. intelligence, is behind renditions and controversial. Okay, I don't know what they're talking about.
What they're saying yes. They're telling you yes. They're saying they're the one. They're saying Kenya's the one that's been destabilizing other African countries by doing rendition, stealing people off the street, having killed leaders and shit. That's what rendition means. They've been one of the main people snatching people off the streets and shit.
Whoa. One also, the awakening actually started in the 254, and also that's like scare for
I
them.
wonder what. What do you say here?
The fact that the awakening or the protest actually began in the 254, they had to be closer. Can you
Could
hear
be.
me?
Yeah, he said, what should be close to here, John?
The UN had to be closer to.
Of course, exactly, because now you're waking up. Yes, what you just see happen in Madagascar. The youth overthrew the government. You had a coup Saturday where the black people over Madagascar and Africa said no more. They didn't do like Kenya, just protest. They overthrew the government. Then you got to go. You got no electricity. We're poor. We're fucked up. We're butt naked out here. Shit ain't right. We don't got, we ain't got nothing to lose. We don't got, so Kenya has been one of those countries that keep African countries destabilized and controlled by white people. So
Right.
that's that, for Kenya to get free, there's gonna be a lot of fight there, Tom. It's one of their main places that they need to keep. Like it's Kenya, Ghana, and really South Africa. Those are your real big jump off countries. Even Nigeria a little bit, but not so much. But Kenya, yeah. Ghana, yeah. South Africa, yeah. So those countries always have a big CIA presence in them.
Absolutely.
So the youth, after the youth starts knowing this, instead of protest, you got to go all the way. You got to overthrow the government because your governments are all puppet governments. They're gonna try to put Ruto back in power because they control you. All those elections are fake. All the elections are fake because CIA controls them. You know he's not popular, so how can Ruto win? Yeah, Ruto won. Yeah. What? How can he win when nobody likes his ass? Don't worry about that. So I told you he won.
That's what's happening. I want to share a short video before I can use the video for the Middle East, and then we move forward to the conversation.
But
why is it not sharing? Okay, I'm gonna share this first.
Yeah, like I say, it's for the resources. Because at one time that was the Middle East was part of the Ottoman Turk Empire. They broke up. They broke them up in World War One. Go ahead, Airtime.
Okay, I'm gonna play the video, guys. Just a moment. Okay, there we go.
You see what Bill Gates is doing, right? Bill Gates is in Africa right now. He got this experiment where they're going to implant newborn babies in Kenya with this tracking device. And the Kenyan government is letting him do it. They're going to put tracking devices in the babies. But guess what else?
This is a puppet there.
He's working with the African Union. He's trying to force the African Union to stop all the farmers in Africa from using organic seed. He wants them to only use genetic
GMO. Farmers will use GMO seed. African people, if you don't goddamn overthrow your governments and this wicked ass evil Bill Gates, this is absolutely crazy. Microchip the children, this all new world order. Cats with the hat shit.
Yeah.
You don't allow that. That means your governments, well, you already know your governments were controlled and bought out. But this is wicked and evil. And I'm sorry, you praying to fake Jesus and fake Allah is not going to stop this evil. Your cartoon character religions that were given to you by your oppressors are not going to work because they don't exist. You're going to have to get out and fight like the people did in the Africans did over Madagascar. I ain't know about them. I ain't know nothing about them talking about shipping the babies already. What?
No, that's crazy.
Yes, Irritar. I didn't even know they got that close, that far so fast. I know that's what they want to do. I know they got Kenya as a pilot program because it's a CIA jump-off country. You better overthrow it. Shout out to you, Dr. Mumby. Only thing's going to happen, you have to have revolution. I know Dr. Mumby says some crazy shit, but she do say one thing right. Voting is not going to help you, Kenya. You're going to have a revolution like Madagascar, like Burkina Faso. Your country's too much control. You don't have a country. It's a lie. Bruno is a dirty puppet. Talking about chipping my children. You gotta fight for your babies, guys. Come on. Go ahead, Eric. Wow, that's crazy.
Modified seed that he sells them. They want to wipe us out through disease and starvation. They're also turning us into a landless race. When I was in the UK a few weeks ago, all I kept hearing about is how they gentrifying us. When I was in the Caribbean, Black Island, they gentrifying us. You feel me?
Africa.
They want to make black people a.
Yeah, exactly. He's right. They never stop. Even though you think you got them out of Africa, Africa's always been the goal. Get the African out of Africa. Get rid of their ass. Wipe them out. Here at time. This is the fact. They've never stopped this goal.
Right.
Get rid of our ass or wipe our ass out.
Mostly the fact that he wants to actually scrape off every organic seed, and he wants us to buy seeds.
Yeah, buy seeds from him. He wants you to buy cancer for him. Keep making him wealthy while seeds are free from God here, God.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And once we don't own no land, we effectively in slavery again. If you don't own any land, you are completely subject to the will of those who do. You see what Bill Gates is doing, right? Bill Gates is in Africa right now. He got this experiment where they're going to implant newborn babies.
You see, even the places that they are going to, mostly the areas that people
African people
information about what's
really exactly. Why they shout to the African lady when she did this? Said, why is Africa the only place that got school fees? Where people gotta pay to go to school and it's free everywhere else. Yeah, and you don't have no jobs in Africa where people can't even afford the goddamn fees to go, and the education you get is a bunch of lies. I said, thank God somebody. I first went to Africa. I was like, what are you talking about? School fees. I'm not paying my school fees. I said, what? What the fuck is that? I said, wait. You trying to tell me? So I thought it was just Ethiopia when I first went there. I went to Ghana. I said, you trying to tell me you gotta pay to go to school? Is that what you're telling me? I said, yeah. And I'll be quiet. I don't want to see it. I'm new. Went to Ghana. I heard this. I said, this is Africa wide. What? You gotta pay to go to school? School is fucking free. That's why you pay taxes.
Right.
What are you talking about? And that's why you know it's a plan. All African countries. Ghana, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa.
Yeah.
Fucking Zambia, Zimbabwe, Congo. School fees. Like, oh, this is a scam here. This is make like here said, makes your African people say stupid. You don't have any information. And then also, Africans, you worship these people from that fucked up religion that they gave you. You worship white people. These are facts. Don't get mad at me.
I can say it's a group of people who know what's happening, and if you have a group of people who are still ignorant.
I think the majority don't know. I think Africa's waking up. Yes, I agree with you, Tom. I think the majority of Africa is still ignorant as shit on purpose. I think that's what I see. Is Africans waking up. Yes, I'm proud of. Yes, much more than when I was 21, 22 going over there. I was over there. I was like, these make my head hurt. I'm like, this is crazy. I just thought this was dangerous. And man, Africa being this stupid, this ignorant. I won't say it's stupid, ignorant, not knowing. It's dangerous. I said, this got, even though I wasn't as smart as I was now, I said, there's got to be a scheme behind it. Why they got African people this ignorant? And why is this allowed? Why is this like justified? There's got to be a plot. You know, somebody wants to come back and steal some land and kill some people here at time.
It was strategic, as you've said earlier, the book that we're actually going through, Decolonizing the Mind by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, should definitely be mandatory in every educational institution. But it's not.
True.
You know, it's not.
True.
And the fact that people are taught whatever they're taught in school, they don't know. You're very young, Mr. Newsom. You're very, very young, and you'll accept everything that you're taught.
Of course, that's exactly right. Right?
Yeah.
School is indoctrination. So exactly right, Erica. So when you get older, it's harder. Like I said, remember I said, even though you have started doing this, how do you unlearn a lie every time as a child? That's hard to do because you've been taught lies your whole life, and so it becomes part of your identity every time. They know that. That's why they get the youth young, teach them all kind of lies. So then when you're 21, someone gives you something completely different every time. They're a completely different history, a completely different truth. You're like, nah, that's fucking crazy. I never heard that crazy shit. And then you're like, I know, but that's the actual truth. Nah, that ain't no truth. You're trying to fool me.
Absolutely.
You're trying to go ahead.
Because we have a group of individuals who know what's really happening. Like we do have leaders who know the truth, but they still are working with these globalists for their own good or own interests. So it's very wicked. It's very wicked.
It's wicked. It's evil. Call it what it is. Call it what it is, Airtime. It's evil. It's evil, Airtime.
Absolutely. It's super evil. I want to play this video. It may not be into Mr. Newsom, maybe the person who narrated it, but just listen to the message. Okay, here we go. Not in Africa.
What you say, Airtime?
Sorry?
Oh, I thought you said something to me. I was like, what? I don't hear nothing. Is it playing every time?
Can you hear anything?
No, I thought I don't hear nothing. I was being quiet. Nah, you don't got no sound every time on that thing. I said, why is every time screen just showing something that's not saying shit?
Oh, sorry.
The Middle East, the part of Asia that Europeans see as the middle of what they see as the East.
Part of Asia, that's not no damn Asia, that's Africa.
We call it the Middle East.
Yes, absolutely.
This part of the world is literally where civilization started, right here in modern day Iraq. And over the years, the
that's a lie. That's a lie. I tell you what, let me get white people. You know, civilization started in Africa. Started in Africa now. And even if they say it did start there, those were still African people in Mesopotamia. Not them.
Yeah. It's still Africa.
Here have been redrawn many
It's still
times
Africa,
as empires have ebbed and flowed through this region. By the way, I didn't make this time lapse. A very talented YouTuber did, and he deserves a medal for it. Or perhaps just a new patron. Thanks, man. Anyway, the most recent carving up of this region happened by European powers. The French, the British, the Russians. I mean, are we surprised? No. Like, of course it was the British, of course it was the French, of course it was Europeans, of course. The lines they drew didn't really take into account language or ethnicity or regional identity. They just sort of sliced it all up amongst themselves and said, these are our new regions of power in the Middle East. Eventually those European powers left, but the lines they drew stuck around and became the skeleton for what the borders look like today. And this is where our story
in Africa.
starts.
They did in Africa. They make fake, but in the Middle East they make fake kings. You got the kings of Abu Dhabi and Dubai, the king of Saudi Arabia. They even make fake kingdoms.
Right.
White man made all these fake kingdoms. Go ahead.
Gosh. And it's like, oh my God, it's still working up to now. I'm very smart.
1930s, here in the modern Middle East. At this point, across the ocean, there was this growing superpower that had spent the last century moving west, taking over this whole continent and beyond, deep into the Pacific Ocean. We've talked about that a bit. But things were changing. The world had just fought a brutal world war that was fought with new weapons that were powered by this new important substance, oil. Germany lost that war, in part because they didn't have access to enough oil to keep up with this new style of warfare that relied a lot more on machines. The young superpower realized that access to this stuff would determine who would be powerful and who would not. So they stopped looking west for a moment and turned east, with hopes of finding the fuel they needed to build their power. The US presence in the Middle East started with one little dot, right here. But soon that dot would expand into a sprawling network of alliances, covert attacks, flows of weapons, money, and the building of innumerable bases, and eventually turning into full-on ground wars. This is how the US stole the Middle East.
He said covert. That means the CIA. Covert means secret. Covert attack.
Yes, right now.
And willing to employ all means necessary.
Okay, so it's the 1930s, and the US doesn't have a significant presence in the Middle East at this point. But that's about to change, because there's a company based in California that wants to explore this vast desert for oil.
11,000 miles from San Francisco, there lies a primeval desert. A mass of drifting sand and sun-baked earth, 1/3 the size of the United States.
This was sort of a risky decision for the California company because, first off, they had no idea if there was actually any oil here.
They knew it would mean sinking into the desert the money of thousands of stockholders in a project that might well end in complete loss.
And second off, this desert was a part of a very hardcore religious kingdom.
The fact that Mecca is the source and the shrine of Islam gives Saudi Arabia a central place in the Islamic and therefore the Arab world.
That was home to the holiest sites in Islam, run by a dogmatic royal family that did not like outsiders, especially non-believing Westerners. But even still, the king of the Desert Kingdom eventually gives the California company permission to explore almost 1 million square kilometers of this desert looking for oil. And after a few years, the bet paid off. And on March 3rd, 1938, in this little patch of coastal desert, they struck gold. Well, actually they struck oil, but it might as well have been gold. So throughout the 30s and 40s, American oil executives, workers, and their families started flocking to the Middle East, establishing the first significant American presence in the region. They set up little cities around the oil operation that were little slices of America, full of the deepest sinful behavior, like allowing women to drive and the consumption of alcohol.
Here is another American colony, complete with air-conditioned houses, 2 hospitals, and an outdoor movie theater.
This is the sort of stuff that is very off limits in Saudi Arabia. It's literally illegal at this point. So you have a lot of Saudis who are not happy about their government letting the Americans in to behave however they want. But the oil kept flowing. And soon the US government goes to the royal family and says, listen, the oil is flowing better than ever. This is awesome. How about we build a little military base attached to our little oil city so that we can, protect you and protect us and protect the oil and stuff. And the Saudis are like, okay, having the great Satan come to our country for oil is one thing, But letting them set up a full-on military base on our soil, and especially when like everyone in our country is not happy with their presence in the first place. But, said the royal family, all of this oil is really valuable and it's really nice and we're getting super rich. So they're like, yeah, sure, set up the base. But there was one stipulation that the Saudis had for the Americans. You are not allowed to literally plant a flag, no flagpoles of the United States. You cannot put your flag anywhere on this base. Instead, you can put a little plaque on the side of the building so that your flag is not literally on our soil. And that was the deal. And that's exactly what happened. The US sets up its first military operation in the Middle East in the form of a landing strip that is right next to this oil field. Okay, so all of this infrastructure that the Americans were building required someone to build it. They needed a construction company. And there was one construction company that the Americans really liked that helped them build their oil city and their base. This company was founded and
The fact that you see all these military bases in Africa, name it, it's because we had someone who said yes, of course. If they had said no, that would be a totally different story.
run by a guy named Mohammed. Now listen, do you think I'm really giving...
But you still have to say yes.
You gotta say yes. You gotta say yes, because see, I told you, they extract you, they kidnap you, and then they crush your ball sack. Now you want your whole family murdered every time, then you'll sign this paper for this deal. Because Africa, Irritan, sadly, has not built any real military. You don't got no way to fight back. And until you grow up and stop being like everybody's my friend and I love everybody and all that goofy shit and build a real military, they'll always be able to come and dictate to you their power here.
Right.
Tell you what to do and when not to do it.
You the backstory on the construction company that built the airbase in the oil city just because that's interesting and I like to talk about construction? No, this is actually very relevant to the story, and you will see why very soon. So the Americans and the Saudis are having this forbidden oil bromance, and it's going really well, and they are just, the oil is flowing, everyone's getting rich, and meanwhile, the rest of the Middle East is looking at Saudi Arabia, and they're like, dude, WTF, why are you like
The fact
in...
that they had to actually hide the flag, it's actually getting me to the conversation about carbon storage, the fact that they had to actually give that perspective that we are here to protect this land, and they put because the people would not accept it. So
exactly,
people know like, oh, you guys are in collaboration with the Americans, so and they'll definitely protest against it. So no flag on our land, and they hide that for their own good.
bed with America, and like, why are you letting them set up a landing strip in your country? And the Saudi royals are like, do you realize how rich we're getting right now? Like, if you were in our position, you would do the same thing.
Or not.
Egypt. Okay, so it's the 1950s, and let's get back to Mohammed, the construction guy. His company, by this point, is thriving. The American presence in oil land is just exploding, and he is building all of the stuff for it. And so this guy is just has a giant business. And he starts to have children. Well, in fact, he had a lot of children, like 54 children, because he had 22 wives, because that is a thing in Saudi Arabia to this day. Anyway, the point is, one of Mohammed's sons...
God damn, you're done.
Wealthy, Mr. Yusuf. He's a rich man.
Wow. Jesus Christ. How much coochie do you need? 50, goddamn 22 wives and 54 kids every time? Jesus Christ.
Do you know them like by name, all of them? Mostly your kids?
I don't know. Hell, I don't got no 54 kids. I don't know. One of those kids are gonna be Osama bin Laden, right? What? Let me say. One of them kids are gonna be Osama bin Laden. Told you. I told you. I already told you.
Because he had 22 wives. Because that is a thing in Saudi Arabia to this day. Anyway, the point is, one of Mohammed's sons is named Osama. I told you this was going to be relevant. Okay, a reminder that Saudi Arabia is not the entire Middle East. So, I'm going to leave the Osama bin Laden cliffhanger for a moment to tell you what else was going on in the Middle East at this time. Remember that it was the hunt for oil.
According to him, as we move forward, he was talking about the reason why Osama bin Laden was actually attacking the U.S. was because of all this.
That brought the U.S. to Saudi Arabia originally. But now, in the 50s and 60s, there was a new reason for the U.S. to think about the Middle East. And that reason is because there's another big superpower that has nuclear weapons, called the Soviet Union, who is coming into the region and saying to everyone, come join Team Communism. And the U.S. is like, hold my beer. So in addition to oil, the US is now involved in trying to not let the Soviet Union have any power in this region. Over in Iran, there was a democratically elected leader that the US didn't like. They thought he was maybe a little too friendly with the Soviet Union. So they worked together with the British to literally overthrow the government of Iran.
That's right. So the CIA was there, and he refused to give his oil to them, Erkan. He said, this oil is going to be for my people to make us wealthy. Same way you would do in Africa, right? He said, no, you're not. No, you're not, Erkan. We're going to overthrow your punk ass. And he was elected, Erkan, as a real election. He's a real president. And they said, no, you're not giving that oil to your people. We're going to get rid of your ass. So the CIA got rid of him, Erkan. They did a coup on his ass. and put their puppet in there. And the oil went back to the people that's not part of the country. That's what's happening in Africa right now.
It doesn't make sense.
They could install a dictatorial leader that was more friendly to the United States.
Exactly.
A little side note here.
It's reminding me of a leader that I know. A lot of leaders, actually.
The airport that I fly out of.
All of Africa, all of Africa. You only got 3 leaders that broke away. Burkina Faso, Mali. That's why they keep trying to kill Ibrahim Traoré. So you out of line, nigga. Your resources belong to us. How dare you think your resources don't belong to us, Erkan? How dare you? That's why that's why they keep trying to kill his ass.
Named after the guy who gave the go-ahead for this coup in Iran. John Foster Dulles. So I'm reminded of the whole Iran thing every time I fly. So the US has its oil thing. It's now involved in trying to prop up a dictator in Iran. There's another big thing happening that brings the US into the region, which is that the newly declared state of Israel.
They'll do everything to stay grounded. Anything, no matter what. They'll overtake anybody who's trying to fight them.
Israel is starting to piss off its neighbors and starting to look to the U.S. for support.
It's you know what? The mineral belongs to me. No, it belongs to them.
Exactly. Exactly. Erkan, do you want to get kidnapped? Do you want to be overthrown, Erkan? You want to Better shut your mouth.
But it's my mineral. No, it's my mineral. How?
And the U.S. gladly offers it, seeing Israel as a friendly nation in the region that could be a big proponent of U.S. interests. So the U.S. starts to fund Israel with tons of money and fighter jets and all of these things to help them fight their wars against their Arab neighbors. There was a debate happening in the United States on whether or not they should actually do all of this to support Israel so intensely, because they knew if they did, they were going to piss off all of the neighbors in the Middle East. And all of the neighbors are the ones who had the oil. In the end, the US did decide to support Israel. And with that came a major backlash from all of these oil-producing countries in the neighborhood.
It's a crisis of such proportion that we probably haven't even begun to grasp it yet as far as the country is concerned.
Scenes like this are becoming all too common on both sides of the Atlantic. But for America, they are more ominous. They tell the Arabs that their oil weapon is wounding America, the country that supports and supplies their enemy Israel.
Eventually, this backlash against supporting Israel kind of calmed down. There was some peace talks. And anyway, let's get back to Mohammed, the construction guy, and his son Osama, because this is where it really starts to heat up.
And it is this world of religious authority and deeply rooted traditions that is now being challenged by the wealth of oil and the Western invasion it has brought.
So it's now the 70s, and Mohammed bin Laden, the construction guy, is now insanely rich. His construction company is giant, his 54 children are also rich, and his son Osama is growing up and is in his 20s and is looking around at all of this stuff happening in Iran and in Israel and is starting to feel really uncomfortable with the notion of his family.
Hold on, Airtime. What he's telling you now is an absolute lie, Airtime. What you know? He's telling you an absolute lie. He's trying to feel this out. It's a lie. Osama bin Laden, Airtime, is a CIA agent. He's a spy. He is. He works for the CIA. So this story he's telling you, this is all a lie. He looks and he starts to don't like it. He decides he doesn't like it. It's all a lie, Airtime. He is an agent for the CIA.
Absolutely.
So the story he's telling you is a lie. That he became a terrorist, Airtime, and blew up buildings. No, he's a CIA asset. He's a fake. He's a fake terrorist.
I knew that.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Being so supportive of American presence in the Middle East, and his government, this religious kingdom, home of Mecca and Medina, being so okay with the U.S. so embedded in the Middle East at this point. These are ancient, holy lands. Why is my government and my family supporting this great Satan superpower coming in and becoming so involved in the Middle East? So bin Laden sets out on a lifelong quest.
And also, like, this story is what was actually, sold out or in the media in regards to the fact that who Osama bin Laden was. They didn't actually give the deeper research you can actually do for yourself.
No, they don't, because they're not gonna tell you he worked for the CIA. Not gonna tell you that that the whole story is fake. They tell you he's a terrorist. He's a terrorist, and he did terrorist things every time. He got disgruntled and became a terrorist. No, he was a CIA asset working on behalf of them because it was the CIA doing all this shit, not him. He was just an asset of the CIA.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. They wouldn't tell you that he was a CIA agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people did the research. They know he's an agent. He about to say, oh, and he's about to give you a whole fake story about Osama bin Laden. And then they tell you, Obama killed him at sea when they raided his house. They raided his house in Afghanistan. But since he was a bad terrorist, no one gets to see him every time. They kill him and then they dump him in the ocean. You're like, what? This story is fucking a lie. As people say, what happened to? Say, how did Osama bin Laden die? Say, they SEAL Team 6 killed him and they dumped him in the ocean. What? Why didn't they bring him back for trial? Why we didn't see him every time?
I was actually asking the question because I watched that documentary. I'm like, okay, we didn't see the body, so.
Of course not, because it's a scam again. It's another lie.
Absolutely. But we were winding up with that family. Thank you for the ones behind me. Thank you, Mr. Newsom, for joining in. And the silent listeners, you can download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackhawkfireradionetwork.com for Ashwagandha.
Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
$3.90. And lastly, for you to be more welcoming to the military, U.S. military, they're telling you that purpose and role is for training. So the U.S. forces train with the Kenyan Defense Forces to strengthen base defense and improve responses to potential attacks. And also, they say the presence is linked to protecting economic interests for their own good and securing the region's maritime.
That's right. Economic interest, Airtime. That's what it's all about. The white man's money. Don't you fuck with Airtime.
Economic interest.
It's about. That's right. That's right. That's right. The resources, Airtime. That's right.
We know that. But have a good one, family. Sending you so much love and
peace,
light.
family.
Peace out.
I want all the shit in your house, Airtime, and you better not say nothing.
I'm gonna say something.
And your little dog. And your dog, Airtime. That's my goddamn dog.
I'm gonna fight for my dog.
If you get the fight here, I'm gonna have to disappear your ass. I got a secret CIA site waiting for you here, Tom. I'm gonna have to disappear your ass.
Black is beautiful, you're not teaching. Girls are thinking, in my king tune, I'm a queen. Squad your debaka DJ. Black. Juu ya kuongeza tire. Black. Competition haicheki kwa kio.